Hey everybody, Adam here. Just to give a quick update about the store. So, if you have been listening, then to episodes, then I did mention that I was approached about being part of a few other people about opening a game store, and so I'm just here to document that. I have been talking about it in the show, but I think I wanted to break it out separate as it seems to be getting more info coming along as we get more into it. I think it would take up a greater part, so it might be easier just to break these up into little segments, make 15-minute segments at most, to just give everybody a heads up and the process, at least from my perspective, of getting opening a store, club, whatever you want to call it, whatever the final form is, because I don't even think we have that down yet, to be honest. I'll start in this first video. I'll start from the beginning. A few months ago, I was approached by someone about being part of a group to open a game store. At first, I was like, okay, that'd be cool, but I have no money, or at least a large amount of disposable income that I could invest in the store. And basically, I was asked or told that it wasn't more monetary, but it was more, I guess, expertise, because the other investors are not familiar with a game store, so to speak, in the way I am, because I've been playing and talking with owners and managers of game stores for so long that I've come to like know a few things. I'm not saying I'm a professional. I'm far from it, because I've worked retail before, but I've never worked at a game store before. But I do ask a lot of questions. I used to spend a lot of time in game stores, just hanging out and playing games. For those that do know me, and because I do events and stuff at game stores, I become very involved in the game store itself. And like I said, I ask questions. I ask, hey, how does this work? What does this do? What does this do? How is this news affecting the game store? Things like that. So I put up a very small amount compared to what he was putting in and what everyone else was putting in. And the idea behind it was anyone can volunteer to help. You get it all the time where someone will say, well, I need someone to do this. And you get a lot of people that say, I'll help. So, and so on. But what ends up happening is that, yeah, they want to help, but when it becomes crunch time, they're not there. That's for whatever reason they can't help, they can't make it, or they can't finish on time, they can't get stuff done in time, things of that nature. So, and to be in all honesty, I've done it before in the past, where I said I would help and I end up not helping for whatever reason. I get lazy, the family comes up, or I end up, me and the person I was supposed to be helping have a falling out or whatever. So I know from firsthand experience that me just saying I'm going to help doesn't mean I'm going to help. So it's literally putting your money where your mouth is. By investing X amount of dollars, I am now financially vested in this project, the store, succeeding. So I am more inclined to help and to do what I'm saying I'm going to do. Because if I don't, I lose out on the money, or I lose out on that profit, or I lose out on this opportunity, which, yeah, I've never had before. So, so he had approached me. To be honest, I never even thought of owning a store. I know everybody dreams about it, but how many of us actually get the chance to open a store? And for myself, if people haven't noticed, or if you've never talked to me or discussed anything with me, I am one of those people that will jump at opportunities. Some people would say, especially my wife might say, I look before I leap, or I don't look before I leap. I leap before I look, which has its positives and negatives. But for me personally, I am, if I can swing it, I will usually take risks like this. Again, it's not a big risk for me. It's still a risk, but compared to some of the other people who are investing, it's not as big. That doesn't say that I have a diminished role. I actually help out a lot right now, But I was offered this spot. I've honestly never thought of opening a game store. I've never thought I would have the capital to do it. But with partnering with other people, then it seems doable. I know some people do not like partnering with people, but so far so good. It makes some things a lot easier, some things a lot harder because it's more of a committee at times. But that's fine. That's what I signed up for. And again, I'm very go with the flow kind of guy in regards to stuff like this. So even if I don't agree with it, if that's what the group wants to do, then I'll help do it. I just want it to be as successful as possible. So again, I was approached. I thought about it, talked to my wife about it, compared how much we could give as opposed to how much other people were giving, and I felt it was a low risk, low investment for me to get into it. So I agreed. Met with the other people that were contributing, and just for context, the person who approached me was the majority contributor to the store, or is the majority contributor. So he's the one putting like literally everything on the line for this to work for him. So and I've known him before. I've known him for a while. So it's not some stranger out of the blue coming up to me and asking me for a game store. It's someone I've known, and we played 40K, of course, because that's usually how I know everybody. Um, so we met a couple times. We talked, and we just discussed what we wanted, what he wants, how he envisions the game store, and how he can make that work. For those that remember, we did have a game store in Pasadena that a lot of people went to. It closed about a year and a half ago, coming up to 2 years now. So there's been a vacuum in regards to a quality store in the area. And I use those words very specific because there is another store that is local that services the community, but in his opinion, and in all honesty, in my opinion also, it is not the type of store or type of business we want to run. So it's different in that way. And when I I'm describing what we want is we want more of a high end place that people want to go and hang out. Now, I don't mean hang out like at a regular store where you just hang out at the tables and you just talk to people. There's no like lounge area. So I think that's what Nick, which is the main force behind this, essentially. I don't think that's what Nick is envisioning. What he's envisioning is more of a high-end club, essentially, where you have a section that's basically just for you to relax, with couches, board games, chess set, backgammon, other games that you can relax. Maybe a TV, maybe play video games, but someplace separate from the gaming area, so you're not crowding the gaming area and talking. If you guys want to talk, you can just go to this lounge area and talk. You don't have, and maybe get some drinks and snacks and whatever, and just hang out there as opposed to hanging out in the game space. You don't see that at least in Southern California, you don't see that in game stores because they are mainly a store. So there's the retail section, then the game section, and the gaming section is games only. You can hang out and talk, but that main focus is on playing games, not hanging out. So I think what we want to do is raise the bar in terms of the hanging out portion while still providing a quality space to play with quality terrain, clean bathrooms, of all that. You hear stores talk about clean bathrooms, but if anybody's been to a lot of game stores do not have that, which is why you have that stereotype of what a game store is. So that's kind of what he's shooting for, so I was kind of on board with that. And to be honest, we missed having a place to play. Me and the other guys, Danny, John, and Tom. So hopefully this works out. So going forward from that, we started looking at a bunch of places. It's kind of hard because we're trying to figure out how much retail we want, how much game space we want. It affects the type of properties we can lease at because they have certain codes, and the property is zoned for certain types of commercial use. So having to do both things It's making it difficult to find a place. We had one place that we wanted, but they wanted 4 months rent up front, and that would have come out to almost $60,000 from the get go. And we're like, no, because that's just way too much. Although it was in a prime spot, a good location, but they just wanted too much. That might be something to move into the future if we're successful, highly successful, that we can do that. But for now, I don't think we're going to go. And it's so much of a, it eats too much into our starting operating costs to warrant moving into that spot. We had another spot that we looked at that was about half the size of the first spot, but there's certain issues we're having in regards to the permits and the zoning of the area. So I don't think we're going to go there. It's still open, still a possibility, but I think we're still looking for now. So we're still looking. It's really just, and this seems to be like the most important part is finding a place to be. And it sounds easy, but there's a lot of factors that go into it. So, do we want foot traffic? For those that, I mean, for everyone that's watching this, we know what the environment of a game store is like. So, if you have foot traffic, that's a bonus. But a game store is a more of a destination location where people know where it's at and they know where to go. It's not necessarily getting their business from foot traffic. Now you can be very successful because of the foot traffic, but a lot of time that's just in addition to the regulars that you get that come to your store or look for your store. And that being the case, that also affects how much your rent's going to be. Because if we're not getting traffic, we should be at a place that doesn't charge us much rent. Because we're not going to get as many sales as we would if we were in a location that had a higher that high foot traffic that has high foot traffic. So when we're looking at that, we're looking at places that have a high foot traffic. We're looking at places that don't, are kind of off the beaten path, but because we can advertise very heavily, and depending how if we want to switch towards more retail or become more of a club, what seems to be a case at least here. We have a couple of them in Southern California. One, if you're familiar with the area, we have one in Colton, which is in the Inland Empire, and we have one in Cypress, which is in Orange County. Both those places are at least started out as clubs where they had limited access, limited retail, but places to play, usually 24 hours. But you have a place to play in that area. So I don't know if we're still discussing whether we want to go more club or more restrictive. You get a membership and it's basically pay to play. And there's a lot of, we talked about this in one of our episodes where there's a lot of stores that are doing that now. And so it would limit our retail, but we hope to attract more people that want a high quality place to play instead of just a bunch of tables and some shitty terrain. So would we want to go that route, or would we want to go the other route where we lean more retail, in which we're located in a more accessible area? So, and then we could still do the club thing, but then we would get more retail. But that's an additional cost. Like the place we got that wanted like 60,000 up front, that would have been a prime spot. That probably was the best spot if we were to go full retail, and we would operate more like a regular store. While the second spot we were looking at was more of a club, it's still it's a high traffic area in terms of cars coming by, but not in terms of foot traffic. It is near a metro station, so that is beneficial. But there were certain limitations on it, and because of the zoning, we would have to get special permits that could delay the opening of the store by up to 6 months. So there's that money we're losing because of time factor. And if you think about it, at this point of the year, we're losing out on Christmas, Black Friday, things like that. So it's really trying to balance both of that between what we want to do and the affordability of it. So we're still looking for spots, mainly in the Pasadena area. We looked at other spaces outside of Pasadena, which are cheaper, but they're outside of Pasadena, so we don't know if that matters. And if it does, then we have to stay in Pasadena. If not, then we can really be anywhere. So and the guys are kind of discussing it. Nick thinks we need to stay in Pasadena. I don't think we do, but Pasadena would give us the best chance of succeeding. And because of the location of other local stores in the area, it really limits where we can go outside of Pasadena. So, so again, so we're still looking. A couple setbacks, but not too bad. Nick is very diligent in his permits and things like that, which is why we didn't go with the second place, or at least right now we're not. We still could make it work, but it would be just a lot harder, and it may not be worth it. But yeah, so that's where we're at. We haven't even got through any of the distributors, any of that, because we need the location and the business permit from the city before we can go forward with anything else. Because we can't open an account if we don't have a business permit. Otherwise, it looks like it's just some average people just wanting to buy wholesale and get around the pricing of some of those things. So, so that's where we're at right now. Um, if anything develops, then as things develop, I will have more updates. So be on the lookout for that. And I believe that is it for now. Most as most updates will probably be about, this is about 15 minutes, maybe 10-15 minutes long at that, if that, because if they update something minor, it may just be a quick update, 5-10 minute update instead. So I think that's it for now, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.